Hello, it's me, Joe, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm at the Natural History Museum in Oxford, a very special place, and it's part of the University of Oxford. And today I'm here to discuss with Dr. Murdock here, who is a very special person, works very hard here, and does a lot about rocks and fossils, and learns a lot about extinct animals. So I have to say we have got some salt here. So this salt, tell us a bit about the salt, Dr. Murdock.
No problem. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Joe, for coming to the museum today. So these are examples of what we call rock salt. So this is salt that's dug out of the ground. So it originally would have been salty, very salty water that dried up, and then that salt would get buried with lots more rocks over the top. And then eventually we can dig it out in a mine and then use that for different things that we need salt for.
So basically, when you said like it dries out of the sea, so that part of the sea dried out a long time ago, and then it's a bit like a fossil. An animal dies, then it all biodegrades, then the bones stay, but then there's countless amounts of layers of rocks and soil and all the like mud and things which go on top of it and make like a fossil. This is just like salt,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly like that. Yeah, it's like a fossil of a salty sea or a salty lake.
Okay. So I have got a question for you.
Okay.
You know how you talk a lot about extinct animals? I do the green space appeal, so I really am thinking about pollinators and bees, really. So I want to know what would happen if we lost all of our pollinators.
Wow. Well, we know that flowering plants have been around for about 100 million years. And at the same sort of time, different groups of insects have evolved the ability to use those flowers as a food source.
Yeah.
And the plants get the advantage of the insects taking their pollen around and pollinating other flowers. And they've been doing that for a very long time. So there's lots of different groups of insects that pollinate plants today and have been doing so in Earth history. We think about bees, but there's actually lots of wasps and flies and moths and butterflies.
Not just insects. We have like hummingbirds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some hummingbirds, sometimes bats are involved in
bats.
pollination.
Sloths are sometimes involved because sometimes you like eat a fruit and then you have seeds and then you release the seeds which help grow new plants, which is a bit like pollination.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
You're not using the pollen, you're using the seeds of a fruit.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So people in the past, we can learn a lot about them because they did very little harm on our planet, but based on the current situation with the environmental issues, global warming, all that stuff, we're in a very bad status. So we need to learn from the past to see like what can we do to live friendly with Mother Nature.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, and one of the big changes that's happened is how many people there are in the world.
Yeah.
There used to be far fewer. Now there are, billions of people. There used to just be tens of thousands or millions of people. So the Earth doesn't have enough resources for all of those people unless we can find more ways of clean energy, food and water resource, and land use. We need to think very carefully about how we're using the land. So we know that in the past, the Earth's climate has changed, but on a much slower rate than the rate of climate change we're seeing today.
Yeah.
So we really are accelerating processes that are already there in nature, but our impact is very, very easy to see when we compare what's happening now with what's happened in the past.
So the past, it helps us to compare about how bad we're being to Mother Nature. So we need to do something to help our planet.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
So that shows us that the past is very important to tell us about what Earth was like in the past and what we can do to help for the future generations. Alright, so we got rid of the salt and we've got a fossil here. So Dr. Murdock, would you like to tell us a bit about this fossil that's in front of us?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a fossil of a kind of animal called a trilobite.
Okay.
So these are a bit like woodlouse or horseshoe crabs that we see today, but they're also different. They're a group of animals that's completely extinct. So they were around for hundreds of millions of years. We first see them in the period called the Cambrian, around 520, 530 million years ago. And then they completely go extinct around 250 million years ago in the biggest mass extinction of all time, when almost, we think maybe 90 or 95% of different types of animals went extinct.
Okay. And when you said something about mass extinctions, we're going to have the sixth mass extinction because of what we're doing to the planet. So really, we need to do something to help our planet. All of this adds up to like showing us that there are benefits of the past, and we all need to do something to help our planet before the sixth mass extinction. Let's go and have a look at some more things that are in Dr. Murdock's amazing place where he discovers everything.
So these are all the different kinds of minerals we have. So this is different kinds of salts. So we talked about rock salt, but there's lots of different kinds of salt out there that have different, made up of different chemicals, and we can find these in the rocks.
Okay. So many people might think there's one thing that is salt. It tastes very like it's a bit like sour and add a bit of sweetness. But so you think like of that salty taste, you put it on food. There's only one type of salt. Salt is salt, but there's actually various types of salt that we can that there are.
All different kinds of chemicals that make them.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And
these are some more salts as well.
More salt. There are just so many different types of salt, which gives us an idea that the planet's species are endless.
That's cool. Yeah, and then there's just lots more of the same. Well, these are fluorides now, different. But yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Murdock, for taking some time off work to do this video. And we're going to explore a bit more in the Natural History Museum. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming to see us.